was to assist the dedicated doctors and nurses at the Medicure International Hospital in Langtry, Malawi, provide the best care for the children and adults there. To do this, they needed medical equipment and supplies to support the orthopedic surgery and care. And so, moving right along, that was part of our goal then, to provide equipment and supplies and to train Malawian surgeons, medical students, and nurses to use this new equipment. And the other goal was to support a sustainable structure of orthopedic training and care in Malawi. The key participants was Dr. and Mrs. Burgess. Dave had just retired from Augusta Health, and they were there doing missionary work. And so it was through the Burgess that, and us knowing them, a person on the ground there in Malawi, that the Waynesboro Rotary Club became interested. And so with that, we all, or all of us, 4 of us, Mary Ann and Sarah Scott, Kathleen and myself, went to a district meeting that Walter Hughes held down at Blue Ridge Community College. And one of the things that I remember when Walter was giving us the information was to think big. We had done small projects in the past, like supporting digging wells and doing some things like that. So when we came back, thinking big was a big part of what we were about, right, Kathleen? Okay. So the next part was to connect with the Waynesboro Rotary Club there in Langtry, Malawi, and also with the Medicure Hospital. Because in Rotary, when you do an international project, you work through another Rotary Club. You just don't go on your own. So we had to make those connections, which came about reasonably. And also in the process of all this, we came up with Dr. Sue Crawford, who was with IMAC America. And she was very helpful in helping us secure equipment. And then we worked, of course, as all of you know, through our Rotary International Foundation. We selected this project primarily because Malawi is one of the poorest countries in Africa. Majority of the population live without running water and good sanitation. And speaking of the water situation, Margie sent me a note saying that when they went back this last time, they had a little tour here in the U.S. before going back to Malawi. When they got back, Dr. Brown had gone back to the UK, and so Dave was in charge of the tour for that amount of time. So when he got back, he found out that they had cut off the water for 2 days. And so he had to drop all of the surgical whatevers that he was had planned and so forth, and go out and find water, tankers of water to put in their own tank there at the hospital so that they could at least operate. 1 in 5 children do not reach their 5th birthday, so there's a very high death rate for children. And the incidence of clubfoot deformity is double the rate of what's here in the U.S. And children with disabilities and deformities are often ostracized and regarded as cursed. And in many cases, the family just won't support the children at all. So those poor children have a very miserable life. We selected this project. Dr. Burgess, he works at the Cure Hospital, of course, as I mentioned before, and he could help us coordinate all of the equipment and supplies that were needed. The hospital is the only hospital that provides corrective orthopedic surgery for children in a country of over 14 million. The patients at Medicure range in age from 1 to 90, which is a high range. The Cure Hospital is a teaching hospital for training national physicians in orthopedic procedures. And they train doctors and other, they use different terminology, but in that sense, nurses and other caregivers there at Medicure as well for Tanzania and, sorry, I can't remember the other country right off. The Medicure Hospital is the largest provider of joint replacement surgery in Southern Africa, outside the country of South America. Margie most recently had a joint problem with her shoulder, and so Dave was not able to operate on her, so she had to go to South Africa to have her medical, to get medical attention. The Medicure Hospital operates the only national clubfoot program for the entire country. And the Medicure Hospital is the only hospital in Malawi that specializes in free treatment of severe orthopedic injuries and disabilities for children. And that's just the most wonderful thing that they do. Some of the guiding principles, cooperation and coordination with the local club there in Malawi, which is the Limby Club. The maximum impact on the population. We feel that the work that and the equipment that we provided to the Cure Hospital will help the whole population who have the need there in Malawi, but also the countries nearby. They are sending some of their doctors and nurses to the training program that Cure offers. The health improvement for multiple generations. So yes, we already know they're from young to old in the prior slide that I shared with you. And the project has sustainability. And the sustainability is not only the equipment there, which hopefully will last over time, but the main thing, and I think one of the biggest things, is the training program that takes place there at Medicure.
I have to tell you, when we started this project, I couldn't pronounce Malawi. I certainly couldn't spell it, and I had no clue what it was. So we thought we'd start out with a map in case any of you all were as geographically challenged as I am. So Malawi is located right here. It's surrounded by Mozambique, Tanzania, and Zambia, and it's a landlocked country. This shows you some of the children in the area, and I'm missing some of the slides here. I wanted to give you an idea of the equipment we were able to purchase with our donation. We actually were able to send over 15 medical suites. So there was one more suite, and it contained fracture tables, C-arm imaging equipment, and for those of us that work in the hospital business, the thought of not having that type of equipment in a hospital that provides orthopedic surgery is just astounding to me. We were able to provide 3 physical therapy suites, and that includes all the things that they need for pre and post surgical procedure. And I think one of the things that we just talked about that is so exciting about this project is that we were able to provide 3 classrooms of materials. And one of the big benefits of this is that they're able to do remote teaching. So you can have the surgeon in the operating room remotely connected to the students in another classroom and connected by video. And as Doris said, they're training orthopedic surgeons all over not only Malawi, but all the other surrounding countries too. 2 critical care suites with things like EKG machines, defibrillators, things that we have considered standard operating equipment for decades. An infection control suite where they can sterilize their instruments. And 3 special care and special procedure suites that included a whole range of things that they needed. And then finally, 2 additional suites were brought in with just medical supplies. So I think it's just really phenomenal what we were able to produce. And just to give you a little summary, our club donated $25,000. And here's just the beauty of Rotary and Rotary International. It was matched by District 7570 and Rotary International, and then with the support of IMEC America that is able to source various equipment we were able to turn our $25,000 donation into almost $400,000 worth of equipment. Pretty amazing. This shows the equipment actually arriving. It's there, it's on site. This is the big tractor trailer pulling up. This is the Waynesboro Rotary Club, and they were there in the lobby as the equipment was brought in. This is the C-arm equipment that I was telling you about, and it actually goes over the table in the operating room. And there's Dr. Burgess right here, overseeing the installation of the equipment, which is really exciting. And a big thank you to everyone in this room. So thank all of you for all the work and effort that turned our donation into almost $400,000 worth of equipment.
Thank you, Kathleen. We would like to recognize a member who has not only been active in our Rotary Club since joining in 1988, but who has always had an interest in Rotary International World Service. This member has chaired and led this club in more projects than we can recall. Her latest project has been by far the most aggressive in recent history. She has been working toward tonight since 2011, when her neighbor, Dr. Dave Burgess, and partner Margie left his practice to go on a medical mission. That mission was to Malawi. As soon as he settled, she asked, "What can Rotary do for you and your hospital?" She asked, "What are your greatest needs?" He found that the needs of Malawi were great, so the Rotarian Doris Harvey started work on the project. Doris, would you come forward, please? Doris, you were selected to receive this recognition because the Waynesboro Rotary Club believes that your life exemplifies the humanitarian and educational objectives of the Rotary Foundation. We thank you for demonstrating in your life and vocation a commitment to helping persons in need here, not only here, but around the world. This project will benefit approximately 8,000 children annually and approximately 1,500 surgeries on children. In addition, some patients will come as far away as Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Doris, in recognition of your contributions to our club, your district, and Rotary International Rotary Club of Waynesboro has given $1,000 in your name toward another Paul Harris Fellow. Not only have you been an advocate for world service, but also a multiple Paul Harris Fellow. You have reached a level where there are no additional pins we can give you. But we just like to thank you for your gratitude on behalf of all Rotarians, and we just like to, if you would stand and recognize.
Well, I have a lot of people that I need to thank. If I can get my head on straight here, I'm so happy and surprised and pleased and all the words that I can think of for to say. But anyway, I did make a few notes for myself, and hopefully I haven't missed anyone. So I'm going to start by thanking the whole club for the honor and privilege of serving as your representative on the Global Grant Committee. None of what we've accomplished would have been possible without the help and support of everyone in the club. And I especially want to thank Brett Hayes. He's not here, but when we were talking about all of this, Brett stood up and contributed a significant amount of money at the end of one of our regular meetings. And then it was followed by other club members who did the same thing. And it was at that point that I knew that we could go forward and write the grant. Some of the persons who personally assisted me were so that I could promote the concept of this grant and this opportunity. Sarah Scott, another past president who supported the grant, managed their funds and assisted in the program that's on the table today. Richard Woodson, the past president also, who was a big supporter of our grant. Jeff Fife, who was the electronics guru for me when I was trying to work on certain things on my computer. And Mary Ann, who answered all my questions, and there were many. Committee members, Zaire Mahmood, Bob Driscoll, Rebecca Shan, who always had a smile and was so willing to help, and decorated our tables for tonight. And did she do a wonderful job? Steve Hallett and Laura Hamp. So we had a wonderful committee. Two people who helped make this day possible, without whom I would have been lost, are, Kathleen, would you come up? And when Kurt gets here, thank you, Kurt. I have roses for you. Kathleen and I spent many nights at my, I bet Bill was wondering where she was, at my dining room table, writing, discussing, rewriting, and later emailing. And without Kathleen's help, I don't know where I'd have been. Thank you so much. And Walter, would you please stand? Walter was my mentor. We still have to gather some information and do that final writing, I know. But I want to thank you so much for all of the support and help and encouragement that you gave to me and to Kathleen as we worked on getting the grant together. Walter was our connection to the region, to the international, and helped us do things that without his support, we probably wouldn't have made it. Thank you, Walter. A little thank you gift to you and Susan. I'm not real sure what to give Dallas for presents, but anyway, I'm sure that Susan will take care of this and you'll have a chance to enjoy it. So this is for the two of you.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just wanted to, our woman on the ground, if you listen to the news, they always have a person on the ground. Well, our person on the ground is Marcia Burgess. And so she shared a couple of notes with me, and I want to share that with you because it gives you an indication of what's going forward. She says the container arrived on July the 7th, and they was unloaded on the 8th. And in the meantime, from that point forward to now, she was saying the C-arm was installed in the operating room, and it allows x-rays to be taken in real time during surgery. The operating room has been able to complete almost double the number of cases. Now, isn't that fantastic?
Wow.
I want to share with you that the members at CURE and at the Limby Rotarians will continue to collect data and information and share that with us. And I want to say at this time, although they're not here, I want to say a special thanks to the Limby Rotarians, especially Peter Barrett and Charles Nusela, who were two people that I communicated with, and their committees who helped us and will be continuing to help us as they gather the data that we need for our final report. This project is an example of people who are worlds apart, but working together can accomplish good for others. This has truly been our Waynesboro Rotary's gift to the world. Thank you.
I'm Walter Hughes. I'm the past Rotary District 7570 Grants Chair. And I did a training class for Doris and Kathleen on global grants. And Doris's dream was to help a neighbor provide medical equipment when he went off to mission in Malawi. So Waynesboro Rotary Club raised $25,000. That turned into a $400,000 projects, partnering with the hospital in Malawi and also IMEC America. So with IMEC America, we were able to take it and leverage that $25,000, turn it into $88,000, where we could buy new medical equipment, but also work with IMEC America to make that equipment just multiply. So it took several months to build the grants and raise the money. In fact, it took quite a while for this club to do that. But once the money was raised and the grant was written, then we had to pick out the equipment, and there was 15 medical suites, and then that was shipped from the U.S. in Boston to Africa, and then getting that out of port and to the hospital. So July 7th it arrived, July 8th they had the unload of the equipment. And now it's really changing lives. It's changing lives of people in Malawi, but it's also changing lives of doctors who are coming from neighboring countries to be trained. So they're going back to their own country with the skill to do those surgeries that are being done in Malawi at the Beit Cure Hospital. So it's also training the next generation of doctors in that hospital. So not only are you taking care of patients now, but you're teaching the doctors and nurses how to do the medical care for these serious surgeries that are needing to be done. So I really congratulate Waynesboro Rotary for doing this effort. And my encouragement is that this is not the last, that we look for future projects that will have such a great impact on the world.